Hi, I'm Mark Clever, welcome to the Photographer Academy, and today I'm joined by the president of Elinchrom, Chris Whittle, to kind of just tell us a little bit about the new ELC ProHD models. Brand new babies for you at Elinchrom. You've been developing these for quite a while now, isn't it?
We have. And in fact, the reason why it's taken us so long is because there is nothing to compare with it in the marketplace, certainly not as a compact unit. It incorporates 3 new core technologies for us which integrate perfectly to give us many different lighting solutions, creative lighting solutions. The first is the charge circuit, which is very powerful. It enables us to recycle very quickly, but it also enables us to smooth the power in such a way that the units can be very easily used out on location off battery-powered inverters and things like that. The second is a control process that we use with the capacitors in order to give us very short flash durations and very accurate color, but across the whole of the power range. That, for example, with 1000 head is from 8 watt seconds right through to 1000 watt seconds. And it's something that previously was impossible. And finally, because with these new control systems, we can do many things such as creative things such as stroboscopic, sequence flash, delayed flash, etc. We needed a very good control system on the back with an OLED display to enable us to make setting these things up very simple.
So in short, really, we've got a machine here that's obviously really designed more for the pro level than the entry level flash, because it's kind of a real workhorse it's designed for. But I can shoot, if I've got the 1000 model, I can shoot actually its highest power or right down to its minimum power. So I can shoot more wide open f4, 5, 6 the 1 minute and shoot at f22, 32 from a distance in the next minute. So it has a full range on that, because I've had to obviously rely on different wattage heads in the past to be able to actually shoot in very low power. Is that correct?
Absolutely right. But it's actually better than that, because even if you were using different heads to use different power levels, it's quite possible that you would have had quite different color temperatures between shots. The big advantage of the color control that we've now got is that it minimizes the amount of post-production work that needs to be done to get the final result. The other side of it is that we want customers, we want photographers to be able to get the day job out of the way as quickly as possible, because we want to give them the time that they need to experiment and play with some of the other features. We want people to be able to create different stuff. And this is where it starts. And the recharge rate and everything else allows me to shoot on motor drive, pretty much at really full on powers with this as well. Absolutely. And kind of also, you mentioned about the strobosonic. I mean, that's stroboscopic. Yeah, sorry. That's pretty much something that we've just been used to with speed lights up to now, isn't it? Really? Yeah, it is. I mean, if we look at stroboscopic, you can have up to 20 frames a second. That is 20 exposures within a frame. But you can also extend that for up to 5 seconds. So you can it gives you almost an infinite number of creative opportunities. And everything else that all work together and things really. Menu system's changed a little bit on the back, because obviously you've got more features in here now anyway. Yes. What's the key difference actually, what we're looking at on the display on the back? The most important thing about the display is it's an OLED display, OLED display, which means that it's dynamic. The menu system is very simple, but there are certain function buttons that vary the option according to where you are in the menu. Because we want it to be really simple to use, the OLED display makes it almost self-explanatory. It's intriguing. If I tried to explain it, it would be complicated. The moment you start to use it, it becomes very easy. It's really simple. And we've made an in-depth kind of assistance guide to actually the menu systems anyway, but like anything, you tend to use things in the same way. But if you can get your job done quicker in the basic element, then you've got more time for creativity actually in the latter part of the shoot and things really. One of the things I absolutely loved when I first actually saw this was the standby. I know it's really silly for you, but how often do we leave lights on in the studio, we go for a coffee or whatever, and then basically the lights are still on full with power and everything else with it. I'm thinking about my electric bill in studio really, and that's a great little feature on that as well with it. But there's lots of in-depth things that we could actually cover. I noticed on the modelling bulb, in fact, really, we've got a kind of a glass cover on the little bulb now. Can you just actually say why to that? Yeah, the 2-pin GX 6.35 base modelling lamps, a quartz halogen modelling lamp, has to be used always with the correct fuse. when the modelling lamp fails, the filament collapses in onto the 2 pins, or can collapse in onto the 2 pins, and creates a short circuit. Okay. If you don't use the right fuse, there's always a possibility that the modelling lamp might explode. The glass dome is a double protection. In theory, if you fit the right fuse, there'll never be a problem. But the glass dome is going to become mandatory. It's something that's coming, and it's belt and braces.
Okay, the ELC ProHD, what does it all stand for?
ELC, Elinchrom Compact. ProHD is the top of the range. There will be other ELCs within that system coming, and in that same way, battery-powered units will be called ELB. It's part of the new nomenclature.
Oh, nice idea. So available as individual heads as well as kits?
Yes. The individual 500 head is priced around £700. The price of a 2-head kit around £1,500. There was one thing that you mentioned earlier about people having preferred setups. This unit has 4 presets, which means that if you have a number of photographers that like a different starting point in terms of the control, each can have their own preset as a starting point, and that's where they start their creativity from.
Or different scenarios in studio.
Yeah, or different scenarios in the studio.
Brilliant. Chris, thanks very much. I know it's just a quick insight anyway, but whenever you bring out a new piece of kit, all I want to do is actually go and fiddle with your buttons. Sounds very wrong, but you know what I mean with it. The kit comes with stands and kind of reflectors and everything else with it?
Yeah, inside the bag you'd have 2 heads, 2 reflectors, 2 mains cables, the Skyport trigger, and of course you've got a separate stand with the stand bags.
Brilliant. See you next time. Take care. Bye-bye.